So Mississippi State, one of the best offensive teams in the conference, with the basketball to start things off. Looking for Jessica Carter right away. And Vanderbilt goes with a 2-3 zone. Hayes to the corner. 3 ball is up. And it's good right on through that time. Debrisha Powell knocks down her 19th three-pointer this season. Vanderbilt starting 5. We talked about Tasha Washington. Of course, don't forget Ija Harbison. Most significant offensive piece on this team for Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt really early, looking for Tasha down low. Expect to see them to do that a lot today.
4 seconds to shoot for Garage. Battles off. And a defensive rebound by Smith. And a foul call against Vanderbilt. It goes against Joffrey Chambers, her first personal foul. Starting 5 for Mississippi State. We've got the Tulane transfer to Kayla Jordan in the mix. A couple of transfers. Anastasia Hayes out of MTSU. Here is Jordan for Mississippi State. Off to Hayes. Ho tries again. That one flips no good. Defensive rebound for Harbison. In transition, 3-on-3. Jada Brown for 3. Battles out. Offensive rebound, Gabrielle Chambers, and she follows with the legs. There's the trap for Vanderbilt, and they get the steal.
Expect to see a lot tonight. Looking at both of these teams, they're known for their defense. Expect to see a lot of steals. Mississippi State actually leads the conference in steals.
At 12.2 steals per game, Sammy saw both of these teams find their identity in forcing the turnovers. On the drive for draw. Harbison pump fakes. Garad, battles out. Rebound for Carter, off and running for Mississippi State. 2 minutes gone by, first quarter. Nice feed down low for Powell. Jessica Carter, 1,000 career points. Redshirt senior from Georgia knocks it down. 28th member of Mississippi State's 1,000-point club. Space for Harbison. Wedged it.
Take another look at that. Really big moment right there for Jessica Carter, getting her 1,000th point. Welcome to the 1K Club.
She's one of the best post players in the country. 2nd in the conference in blocked shots. 6th in the conference in rebounds for Jessica Carter, and 16th in the conference in scoring. That one goes down from the corner for Sherrod.
That last game, she put up 29 points, tying her season, her career high, actually, of 29 points. She's one you can expect to see score a lot today.
Allen hits the hardwood, and it goes back to Mississippi State.
Take another look at Garrard right there. Beautiful shot from the corner.
I'll talk about all of the accolades that Jessica Carter has. Gerard leads this conference in 3-pointers made so far this year with 36 of them. Not technically the most per game, but total 3-pointers, that's Gerard. No good for Jordan. Out of bounds back to Vanderbilt.
You know she's really excited to knock down one of those threes early on in the game. She's been struggling a little bit behind that arc the last couple of games, so she's definitely found her groove early on.
I think it was just 1 3-pointer against Alabama A&M right before the holiday break. Again, a transfer from Boston College. That's made a very fast impact. Both of these programs, I suppose, like most programs across the country, have really been impacted by their transfers. Tyja Harbison and Gerard for Vanderbilt, and a handful for Mississippi State, including those Hayes sisters. Speaking of, Hayes toward the bucket, floats and scores. Anastasia Hayes, the graduate transfer from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. sizes up a three ball. Rattles it through for the freshman from Westminster, Pennsylvania. Drills it.
Tonight, Vanderbilt's going to need performances like that from Ryan Allen, really stepping up, making some big shots.
Elena Smith, the floater goes down, the transfer from Louisville, right back down the other side. And a traveling violation is called against Harbison. Back and forth basketball here between Mississippi State and Vanderbilt. Which long-term I would think probably favors Mississippi State with Vanderbilt's short bench, a team that is more defensive-minded. So Mississippi State, if they can play at this pace, probably favors the Bulldogs, but so far stride for stride with Vanderbilt getting up and down the floor with Mississippi State.
The one thing to watch with Vanderbilt playing this fast right now is they only have 9 players. They're averaging a lot of minutes right now, so you need to make sure to be careful to preserve some of that energy for later on in the game.
Jessica Carter gets her second bucket of the ball game. Averages 14.2 points per game. Allen fires and gets fouled.
You can see when Allen goes up for this shot right here, a little bit of contact on the wrist right there.
Yep, that's Jacayla Jordan, that transferred from Tulane. Out of the high school powerhouse down there in New Orleans, John Curtis. So Allen at the free throw line for 2. Just mentioned the transfers. You've got the Hayes sisters from MTSU. There's your season summary for Vanderbilt, by the way. Net ranking at 91. Last 6 games, 8 or fewer players available. That includes tonight's. No Amari Williams once again. Jessica Carter gets fouled. She's at the free throw line. So Mississippi State by 2. Again, you've got 2 of the most significant high-profile assistants in the country getting their first shots as head coaches. Sam Purcell from Louisville, Shea Ralph from UConn. Those 2 went head-to-head a handful of times with both of them as assistants. Shea Ralph, a 5-1 record, and the last time UConn beats Louisville with both of those talented assistants on staff. 2019. A trip to the Final Four up in Albany, New York, part of the Elite Eight. That's one of those situations where teams not named UConn get frustrated by the system because women's college basketball is so popular in Connecticut and New York because of UConn. The 2-seed UConn played in the Elite Eight in Albany, New York. So I'm guessing Louisville felt like it was a bit of a home court advantage, but that's just one of those situations where the NCAA has to put those tournaments where they're going to draw the most eyeballs and fans.
It's not hard to draw a lot of UConn fans out.
It is not. And for what it's worth, Sam Purcell has done a wonderful job throughout the course of his tenure. This year at Mississippi State, jump shot is no good. And did a great job coaching some all-time greats at Louisville. Asia Dura is one of them. They had a tremendous run and continue to do so with head coach Jeff Walz not too far up the road from here in Nashville to Louisville.
The foul is on number 5, Gabrielle Chambers. That's first,
second personal foul called against Jean-Brion Chambers. That puts Vanderbilt at a disadvantage in the post midway through this first quarter.
Sasha Washington really showed her wingspan on that still, reaching out to give that one to teammate Bella LaChance.
Here's Sasha, goes to work against Hayes. And a dribbling violation called against Sasha. Well, highly competitive, Jacayla Jordan. So 1 foul so far for Mississippi State has been switched from Hayes to Jordan. Vanderbilt has 3 team fouls so far, 1 for Girard, and then 2 for Jean-Brion Chambers, which is significant for Vanderbilt with a fairly thin post bench. If any post bench. Another steal for Vanderbilt. They've come up with a couple of those here so far tonight. That's the third.
The big thing to watch, though, yes, it's the third, but turning that into points. That's where Vanderbilt definitely needs to step it up a little bit more and create some points off of those. Take a look at Sasha right here. She's the one that got her fingertips on that ball to create another steal.
Unfortunately, give it and take it there for Sasha Washington. Picks up the foul for a moving screen violation. Her first personal foul. Jump shot is good. As Asianae Johnson, the graduate transfer from St. Bonaventure, knocks it down from the baseline. No good for Marnell Girard. 1 3-pointer so far tonight for Marnell. Mississippi State by 6 points. Jessica Carter. Yes, she's got 6 points, and it builds the lead to 8 for the Bulldogs.
She just made that shot look so easy.
Boy, nice bounce pass, and Sasha Washington goes to the free throw line for a couple of shots. Debbie Washington with a wonderful bounce pass speed.
Take another look at that pass by Demi, putting it in a good position for Sasha Washington, who has really been working on getting her feet set a little bit earlier, getting to where she needs to be, put herself in a better position.
Well, look at a good job, too, by Sasha Washington, sealing off Jessica Carter to open up the lane for the pass. So Sasha gets some credit for the good pass that Demi just delivered. 2 free throws here for Sasha. Vanderbilt first in this conference in free throw percentage, about 73. Washington 65% from the free throw line. And goes 2 for 2 on this trip. First 2 points of the ball game for Sasha. Another jump shot. That'll stop. No good for Johnson. Stick back for Carter. Yes, off the glass. That is hard to stop from Jessica Carter at 6'5", the forward from Georgia.
You could say it's hard to stop, and yes, she got the points, but credit to Sasha Washington. Again, she really got her hands in her face, making it a little bit more difficult for Carter to get that shot up.
Foul called against Ryan Allen. The second moving screen violation called against Vanderbilt. Here's another one of those blocks by Sasha Washington. Good bottle, though, by Carter. Up top, triple try for Smith. Book it! Elena Smith, the transfer from Louisville, drains it. And see if Taisha Harbison can get going. 0 for 2 from the floor for Vanderbilt's leading scorer. And second in his conference in scoring as well. 18.8 points per game. But Chance, short right corner. Bounce pass for Sasha. Doubled up down low. And she steps out of bounds. Turnover. Vanderbilt's right back to Mississippi State.
There was a lot of contact down low right there. You can see really making it tough for Sasha Washington to get around. Danae Carter really putting a lot of pressure on Washington.
Stylistically, that is the SEC, though. I remember talking with Tom Garrett, one of the assistant coaches for Vanderbilt, in fact, associate head coach. It's a tough physical slog in the SEC. I think the officials in this conference give a little bit more leniency to the physicality of the post players than perhaps in other conferences. And a little bit right there by Danae Carter to push Sasha Washington off her spots.
However, post players, you got Yabrion Chambers with 2 fouls already in the first quarter.
Turnover for Mississippi State. That time it's Elena Smith that steps on the sideline of the bounce. 4th turnover for Mississippi State. Vanderbilt's got 3. Floater's no good for Girard. Rebound Mississippi State. Little bit of a danger zone right here for Vandy as a traveling violation is called against Mississippi State. The 5th turnover on the Bulldogs with 56 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Edgar Vanderbilt and Sam Purcell watches on. After back-to-back turnovers from his Bulldogs. Some little bit of a push here late in this first quarter, significant to stay attached and keep the energy going toward the second quarter. No good from Girard. 3 for 11 from the floor for Vanderbilt. Courtney Weber, the Florida State transfer. Entry pass down low, intercepted by Vanderbilt. Shot clock is off. Vandy can have the final shot of the quarter if it wants it. Five seconds to shoot. Off to Kaija Harbison, the drive. 1 second to shoot. She floats, and it rattles off. So Harbison goes 0 for 3 from the floor. Vanderbilt goes 3 for 12.
Jordan Cambridge leading in NCAA in men's and women's in steals in the entire country. That's a huge loss. Ayanna Moore, she had an incredible freshman season last year. And Cameron Smith, again, another significant loss for Vandy.
Weber pump fakes on a 3. Rattles through that time for Depresha Powell, a 6'1" freshman from Meridian, Mississippi.
And something now as we get into this second quarter to watch while we're talking about that short roster is just look at the fatigue maybe setting in early on for this Vanderbilt team, because this is a very good Mississippi State team. And whenever you're only playing with 8 players and you already have one of your only post players already with 2 fouls in just the first quarter, you're running into some trouble.
Which has been part of the issue too, Sammy, with the pace of this ball game. It was up and down quite a bit midway through that first quarter. And if you've got a short bench by the time that you hit the fourth quarter, no chance. Jessica Carter picks up the foul for Mississippi State. First personal foul for number 4. 6'5" redshirt senior from Waverly Hall, Georgia. 14.2 points per game for Jessica Carter, who picked up 1,000 career points on her first bucket here tonight. Just taken away by Jacayla Jordan. In transition to Hayes. Rattles up. Knocked out of bounds off of the Bulldogs, back to Vandy. So Valerie Chance goes to the bench. Kaija Harbison checks into the ball game. Plus 14 for Mississippi State at 11-2 to start off the season.
Harbison missed a couple games, a few games back now, but whenever she had her return, she really made a sneaky start whenever she started scoring. Vanderbilt needs her to do the same here tonight. Had a quiet first quarter. They really need her to step up offensively.
Yeah, 0 for 3 for Kaija Harbison in that first quarter. Foul is picked up by Jacayla Jordan. Sasha Washington doing everything she can to establish some size and presence down low. And the help defense by Jacayla Jordan picks up the foul. That's her second personal.
Checking in, number 3, Asianae Johnson. Replacing number 2.
2 free throws for Sasha Washington. 2 points so far, both of them at the free throw line here tonight for Sasha.
Washington has done really well the last few games establishing that physical presence down low. And that was really getting her prepared for SEC play. So it's a big matchup for her today against Carter, but one that she's been preparing for, especially in these last recent games.
Yeah, for sure. So 4 points here for Sasha. And Vanderbilt looks for the steal and picks up another foul. Second foul of this second quarter. This one goes against Gerard. Second personal foul against Gerard. So Bella Chance checks in. Fouls at issue so far for Vanderbilt here in this first half. We've got Breon Chambers on the bench and Marnell Gerard on the bench, both with 2 personal fouls. Here's Johnson. Zone defense for Vanderbilt leaves the three-pointer open, and they drill it. Courtney Weber, the transfer from Florida State. Well, zone defense, again, just like some things, give it and take it. That one, take it for Vanderbilt, give it to Mississippi State, 57% from three-point range. And the Bulldogs, 28-13. Falls off for Kaija Harbison. Foul called against Jessica Carter. And a couple of words here for Jessica Carter, talking things over with Keisha Thompson.
Fouls on number 4, Jessica Carter. That is her second, team's third.
This is a significant foul right here, and you could see she was talking to the ref. It looked like she was mentioning maybe that Bella Chance was grabbing her wrist, hitting her wrist, and that you can see she's mentioning it to the ref there again. But that's a big foul. Now she's picked up multiple fouls.
That second personal foul for Jessica Carter. I think it was the extension of the arm that I saw Keisha Thompson mentioning to Jessica Carter. That was, I guess, the impetus of the foul call. Nothing goes for Vanderbilt if Kaija Harbison doesn't get going. And so far, 0 for 5 for Kaija. 18.8 points per game, and she's got nothing to show for it so far. 8th turnover, though, for Mississippi State. Bulldogs lead by 15 points.
Both of these teams put a lot of pressure on their opponents, so you can expect to see a lot of turnovers today.
Doesn't this feel like the window, though, Sammy? If Jessica Carter's on the bench with 2 personal fouls, this is your window. If you're Vanderbilt, you're 3 for 15 from the floor, shooting 20%. This has got to be your chance.
Absolutely, you have to take advantage of the situation that you have at hand, especially not having that big presence down low. Get Sasha the ball down low, now that she's not having to fight that big body.
Instead, they settle for a triple try, which does not go for Harbison. Traveling violation called against Courtney Weber. And whether it's Sasha Washington getting down low for Vanderbilt or Harbison trying to go off the dribble to get to the bucket, you've cleared out space down low. Today, Carter is still tall, about 6 foot down there. And Poe is 6'1". Instead, back-to-back triple tries. This one falls, though. Big bucket for Ryan Allen, the guard from Pennsylvania. Knocks down her 21st three-pointer of the season.
Right now, she's 2 for 2. From 3. I mentioned it earlier, you need the freshmen to really step up big today. Her and Jada Brown, she can also shoot the ball from behind the arc.
Held ball. Another window here for Vanderbilt. Good job defensively by the Doors. Forces the turnover on Poe. So 4 turnovers in the last 2 minutes for Mississippi State. And a foul is called against the Bulldogs. This one goes against Delana Smith. First personal foul called against Smith, so she takes a seat on the bench. Here's Bella Chance. 3 minutes, 30 seconds gone by. Second quarter, Vanderbilt trails by 12 points. Mississippi State has cooled off in the past couple of minutes without Jessica Carter. And that's taken away. Asianae Johnson coast to coast. And will finish with the left. 30 points for Mississippi State off the glass for Johnson.
That was exactly what Mississippi State needed. They had 3 turnovers in the last minute and a half. They needed something to go their way. That was it right there.
As much as we've talked about, Sammy, the offense so far tonight for Mississippi State, they are second in this conference in points allowed. Just 51 points allowed per game is second in the SEC. Floater is no good by Bella Chance.
Teams usually only shoot about 31% against them.
Johnson scores it from the wing. Asianae Johnson back-to-back buckets for the St. Bonnie transfer. Once again, Vanderbilt back in the danger zone here. With 2 seconds left on the shot clock, Bella Chance has to force one up. With 5 minutes to go in this second quarter, can you find some offense without one, if not the best defensive players in the conference on the floor for the Bulldogs? And still in that 2-3 zone for Vandy.
And that's something you'll see Vandy do. They'll change their defense around, and that's something head coach Shay Ralph said she wants her team to be able to adjust, make those adjustments in-game to different defenses. She wants to be able to throw the opponents off, other teams off, and so you'll see them switch things around.
Floater's no good for Anastasia Hayes. One of just 2 players, by the way, in women's college basketball that's active with 2,000 career points, 500 career rebounds, and 400 career assists. Iowa's Caitlin Clark is the other. No good for Allen, and a foul is called. It goes against Vanderbilt's Yabrion Chambers, which again is just ginormous. That's the 3rd personal foul on Yabrion Chambers. And a thin bench continues to get thinner for Vanderbilt. This was always the fear for Vanderbilt. Down to 8 active players. You get into a very physical conference. You pick up a couple of fouls, and games just get changed very quickly. You can see the right hand of Yabrion Chambers
has a little bit of a push.
A little bit of a push.
And right now, all 9 of Vanderbilt's players are averaging at least 12 and a half minutes. And you only have 8 available for today. So whenever you get into that foul trouble, the players that are available, they are going to get fatigued very quickly.
Triple goes down for Courtney Weber, a 5'10" guard from St. Rose, Louisiana. Kick out. LaChance. Off to Allen. Air ball caught on the opposite side by Anastasia Hayes. Boy, everything but the finish that time for Hayes. Skip pass for Weber. Still no points for Kaija Harbison, by the way. 0 for 6 here tonight. 18.8 points per game for Kaija is second in the SEC. And none so far here tonight against the Bulldogs. LaChance on the drive. Reverse layup. Is good. Got a chance. Look at that. Good defensive rebound. Sasha Washington offers the miss. Here's Kaija. Lost control of it. And picked up by Johnson. 2 on 3. Johnson. Offensive foul, Sasha Washington.
You could see that one coming from a mile away. Sasha Washington again getting set early. She had her feet set. Take another look at it right here. You can see Sasha Washington, she even put the muscle into it. She got braced ready for that impact. Got there early. And she was a little shook up there at the end, but she is back up and okay.
Asianae Johnson tried to give her the Euro step, but could not get past Sasha. So a good take there. Yeah, a little bit shaken up, but continues to play. So defense here, taken away. Anastasia Hayes, the Riverdale product off the glass and in for two.
You can just see she got back so quick.
Well, Vanderbilt diagnoses the zone on the second possession bucket for Kaija Harbison. First bucket of the ball game. Tapped out to Hayes.
There they go again, moving the ball around so quick around the perimeter.
Now ball goes back to Vanderbilt.
Possession error.
So 1:17 to go, second quarter. Mississippi State 38-20. They've been wonderful here today. 58% from the floor, 15 for 26. As Carter checks back in, that's Danae Carter, a 6-foot sophomore from Philadelphia, 6.5 points per game. Jessica Carter stays on the bench with those 2 personal fouls. 7 points for Asianae Johnson, 6 points for Poe, 6 points for Weber, 5 points for Smith, 2 points for Hayes. As you take a look at Jessica Carter, who's got 10 so far here today, 4 for 4 from the floor, and 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
The big difference right now, you just went through Mississippi State's roster, and they're all contributing offensively. That's the difference right now. Vanderbilt's having a really hard time getting some of their shooters started.
Including this one. No good for Kaija Harbison. Challenged right at the point of attack. Lost the ball back to Mississippi State. And a foul against Vanderbilt. It goes against Sasha Washington. Second personal foul called against the Georgia native.
You can see right here, she ends up tripping her, sticks her leg out, just is a little lippy. I think she was just trying to turn and get to the ball, but she is called for tripping her.
The right knee. I think the right knee turned out just enough to clip the driving Danae Carter and pick up the second personal foul for Washington. Substitution as Allen checks into the ball game. And Sasha goes to the bench. No good for Hayes. Stick back for Carter. That's not there. Out of bounds off of LaChance. And it stays with Mississippi State. 26.8 seconds to go here in the first half.
Checking in, number 5.
Another one of those Hayes sisters, Alasia Hayes, a transfer from Notre Dame. Again, a Riverdale product, checks into the ball game. Open triple try for Paul. Loose ball scrum. Stays with the Bulldogs.
If you look at Ryan Allen right now, you can just see some frustration on her face. See a little bit of that fatigue. You can tell they're ready to get into that locker room for halftime. Get a little bit of a breather and try to come out for a strong second half.
Foul called against Mississippi State there. Carter picks it up, so Vanderbilt will get the last shot if they want it here at this first half. Let's see what Vandy wants to go and try to get here in the final 15 seconds. Allen's played well. She leads this team with 7 points. Harbison's got the rock now. 10 seconds to go. Searching for a big bucket to end the final couple of seconds. Here's LaChance for 3. So Mississippi State 18-point advantage into the locker room. Mississippi State looked at as advertised. Paying off some of the transfers that a couple of years ago came to play for Nikki McCray, who left about a month before the season last year. All of last year, Mississippi State had an interim head coach. Then Sam Purcell comes in. The Hayes sisters transferred to play for McCray. Sir Caleb Jordan transferred to play for McCray. They never did, and now Sam Purcell is paying it off. Triple try from Smith. It keeps on keeping on. Elena Smith, the transfer from Louisville. Got it.
Again, just getting the ball to their shooters so fast. Getting those shots off that Vanderbilt, they can even get set to block it.
Rejected by Carter off the fingertips of Garrod. No chance right there. Jessica Carter swats it away. And Kayla Jordan on the other end. The two-lane transfer buries it. Blocked to triple try to bucket. Timeout taken. Shea Ralph. Jessica Carter on pace for her 7th double-double of the season. 10 points, 5 rebounds so far. Mississippi State goes with the trap. Sliced by Harbison. Numbers for the Bulldogs. It's Hayes with the feed to Carter. That's an easy finish. 12 points for Jessica Carter.
Again, moving so quickly.
Defense to offense that time. Another block shot by Mississippi State. Loose ball picked up by the Bulldogs. That spits out no good for Paul. Second chance, and a traveling violation is called. 12 turnover of the ball game for Mississippi State.
That's something to look at, though. 12th turnover for Mississippi State. Vanderbilt has had 8. Whenever you're going up against a defense like Mississippi State, Vanderbilt is having a hard time finishing, making some baskets, but they have handled the ball very well today.
Third foul called against Jessica Carter right there. Sasha Washington got some post position down low. A couple of free throws here for Sasha. We'll see what Sam Purcell decides to do with Carter again. 26-point game. So hard to note the exact impact of the third personal foul called on Jessica Carter, but she does go to the bench. Danae Carter goes in. 6-foot sophomore from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. First free throw, no good. Sorry.
You're fine. Jessica Carter, that last block that she had, just to mention, that is 7 games straight that she has multiple blocks.
One for two for Sasha. That's one of those stats that's really good, but because of her skill set, you're almost not surprised with a high-quality statistic. Foul called against Vanderbilt. This goes against Demi Washington.
She is a stat stuffer.
Demi Washington. That is her first, team's first.
And a travel is called against Smith. You know, I keep going back to this roster construction for Mississippi State. Look, they're very, very talented. But most of this roster was not put together by Sam Purcell, which is not a knock on Sam Purcell. This is his first season. Shea Ralph would say the same thing about last year. The way he's taken this team, all of their players, foul is called here against Mississippi State, and gotten them to gel together is really impressive. So many transfers. Now, again, a lot of them did play together last season, and they're ultra talented. So he's not taking a mid-major or low-major team and getting them to play at the SEC. they are SEC players that he is maximizing. But again, his first season, he is taking a bunch of pieces that went through just a really awkward situation a year ago. Having their head coach, first free throw is good for Harbison, Nikki McCray, leave 1 month before the start of the season. And all of these players that thought they were coming to Mississippi State to play for McCray aren't. Now they've got an interim, and it was a weird season. And to get them back on the same page this year, a lot of credit to Sam Purcell.
However, when a team faces adversity, though, you either see them all come together, or that's when things really, really fall apart. So credit to Mississippi State for taking a situation like that, taking that adversity, and really gelling together to put together, so far, a very good season, especially in the non-conference.
That's kicked out and knocked loose. Picked up by Hayes. 2 seconds to shoot. 1 second. The floater is no good. Good defense by Vandy. Off the front of the rim, no good for Gerard.
Something to watch right here. Mississippi State, whenever they've taken their time to set up plays, that's when they've had back-to-back traveling violations. They've ended up turning the ball over in 3 straight possessions.
Danae Carter off the glass, it in for 2.
She heard what I said.
Like Jordan Buck get it in for 2. That's time for Carter. First 2 points of the ball game for Danae. So Kaija Harbison gets the buckets. Just the second field goal here tonight for Kaija. Harbison versus Jordan. Nice turnover by Vanderbilt there. And the Regents foul is called against Mississippi State. Second personal foul called against Hayes. So Anastasia Hayes goes to the bench. 2017 state champion here at Tennessee with Riverdale High School, part of that trio. With her sisters, plus Brene Alexander, the former Vanderbilt Commodore, now with Maryland, also part of that 2017 state championship team at Riverdale. No good for Harbison. Loose ball picked up by Weber. Or excuse me, Paul. Rim. Shot clock violation called against Mississippi State.
And you could see Shea Ralph was getting a little upset until she saw that it ended up being a shot clock violation. After Vanderbilt shoots the ball, it's almost as if they're running down the court to get set to try to defend because of how fast Mississippi State was getting shots off. They aren't even giving themselves a second chance.
Off the rim, no good. That's time for Garage. That's good. Weber, bang, top of the key, 51-24. points for Weber here tonight. 3 for 4 from three-point range. A transfer from Florida State. Nice bounce pass. And a foul is called against Mississippi State. Let's see if this is on the floor. It is. No free throws for Bella.
That is her
second personal foul called against Alana Smith. Really nice take for Kaija Harbison, her best bucket of the ball game. Got the pump fake, created some space, and banked it off the glass for 2.
We've been talking about the physicality in the SEC, and you saw it right there with Kaija Harbison. As you mentioned, giving herself some space, bumped off of the Mississippi State player, and was able to finish.
Still that zone defense for Vandy. Triple try is no good for Smith. Off of Mississippi State. Off of Carter back to Vanderbilt. Boy, blocked once again, but the follow is there for Galbrion. Chambers and 1. 4 points for Galbrion.
Take another look at that. That's what happens whenever Vanderbilt, they don't rush down to the other side. You're giving yourself not just a second chance, but a third chance at the bucket, and now an and 1.
So the 5th block of the game for Mississippi State, but Vandy stays with it.
There's that pressure that Vanderbilt's known for doing.
So 53-28. Mississippi State with the advantage. Not ranked for the Bulldogs. Actually not receiving votes either, which is a little bit interesting. Jump shot is no good. 11-2 is the record for Mississippi State. Outside of the top 25, you have Louisville, Duke, Villanova, Nebraska, South Florida, Middle Tennessee, Columbia, Texas, Alabama, Marquette. We'll see how Mississippi State does, but just looking at this performance here today, not saying they're going to win the SEC or anything. They feel like a top 25 team today, just watching them perform here tonight, but we'll see. Two losses so far this season for Mississippi State, South Dakota State, and Nebraska.
Which, if you look at their non-conference schedule, it's not that strong, which could be why they're not receiving votes yet.
Yeah, it's soft. Florida A&M, Old Dominion, New Mexico, Texas A&M, Commerce, Grambling State, Louisiana Monroe. But you can make up ground in a hurry in this conference. Looks like the foul was called. Sasha Washington to the free throw line for a couple of shots. Foul called against Danae Carter.
Take a look at that pass inside right here. Sasha Washington getting set early, putting herself in a good position. She wasn't able to finish, but she is at the free throw line now.
You can talk about Vanderbilt getting tested very quickly in their SEC slate with Mississippi State, with LSU, South Carolina coming up. Mississippi State is not that much different. They've got Ole Miss, Tennessee, South Carolina. 1, 2, 3 to start things off for head coach Sam Purcell in his first season as the head coach of the Bulldogs. So they will know very, very quickly where they stack up in this conference.
And Jessica Carter, while she's towering over Vanderbilt today, that's not the case against the other SEC schools, especially whenever you got Tennessee coming up in 2 games.
Good size for Tennessee. Of course, fantastic size for South Carolina with Aaliyah Boston. To go from Mississippi State to LSU for head coach Jay Ralph, that's a tough 1-2 punch. Of course, Angel Reese, we've talked about her first in the conference for the Tigers in scoring and rebounding. So for a team in Vanderbilt that is thin with its numbers, plus does not have a ton of size to deal with this sort of heightened physicality to start things off, it's tricky. But the whole conference is like that, so it's not necessarily new.
Well, the first 6 games for Vanderbilt is going to be very tough. You have LSU, then at Ole Miss, then you have the Lady Vols coming here to Memorial Gymnasium, then you go to Arkansas, then hosting #1 South Carolina. Those first 6 games are very, very tough.
Blocking foul called against Sasha Washington. Her 3rd personal foul. Triple try went down just a second ago by Garrod. Her 2nd three-pointer of the ball game. So she's got 37 so far this season to lead the SEC. Couple of quick words from Coach Ralph and Sasha as she goes to the bench. 50 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. Off of Vandy, stays with Mississippi State. Jordan for 3. Floater is good for the Bulldogs. Smith knocks it down. Another one falls for Garrod.
She was wide open for that 3.
Good couple of buckets there for Garrod to finish off the 3rd quarter. Very good. Vanderbilt has struggled to get names like Kaisha Harbison going. Just 7 points here tonight. Garrod 9 points with 3 3-pointers.
I mean, both of those points, usually whenever you're going in, both of those players, whenever you're going into the 4th quarter, are already in the double digits scoring.
And sometimes 20 points for Kaisha Harbison. Look, and we kind of talked about Mississippi State, the fact that they've had, quote-unquote, a soft, as you take a look at head coach Jay Ralph's non-conference slate. So you can look at their statistics and go, triple try for Jada Brown is no good. Are they really second in the conference in scoring defense at 51 points per game? If this is who they're matching up against, tonight is a data point that they're a little bit closer to a true second in the conference based on this performance against Vanderbilt versus, say, a performance against Grambling State or somebody else from the SWAC. So give them credits. They've lived up to their statistics here tonight.
They've really, not completely silenced, but they've made 2 of the SEC's best shooters pretty quiet tonight. Shooting at 25.6% from the field right now. That's not typical for Vanderbilt.
Washington checks back in the ball game. 3 personal fouls for Sasha. Off the glass, no good for Bella Chance. And a foul is called. Foul goes against Allen. 2nd personal foul against the freshman. 7 points for her here tonight. 2 for 4 from the 3-point line. Harbison checks back in. Jada Brown goes to the bench. And from an X's and O's standpoint here tonight, Simi, I do think the fact that Yabrion Chambers, we've touched on this, picked up 2 very quick personal fouls. Nice feed down low. Jessica Carter with the finish. Forced the hand of Jay Roth. Did not have the depth of post players. Had to go to the 2-3 zone. Yes, she wants to change defenses, but she lived in a 2-3 zone likely more than she would like, opposed to that attacking, trapping style of defense to force the turnovers. And Mississippi State clobbered Vanderbilt with that 2-3 zone, knocking down a bunch of three-pointers here tonight. 9 of them.
Absolutely. You've really only seen that pressure once in this second half. It's not the defense that Shea Ralph is used to, especially in the second half. She normally turns on the pressure even more so, and you've only seen it once.
Yeah, she just put with Mississippi State's athleticism plus the foul trouble.
And right now you have Sasha and also Chambers with 3 fouls.
Nice steal by Sasha Washington there. And Vandy gets it right back. So 18 turnovers for Mississippi State here tonight. Vandy's got 9 of them. Out of bounds, at times by Hayes.
You take a look at this right here. Mississippi State still moving so quick offensively. It's been very difficult for Vanderbilt to get into really any kind of defense. We're talking about zone defense, but really any kind of defense they're not able to get into because of how quick Mississippi State is moving that ball.
And Jessica Carter runs the floor very, very well, so very clearly the message, Carter, go very fast down the floor, stand underneath the bucket. If we can get the basketball to you, great. If not, we'll set up the offense. On the kick out, and it's knocked loose by Carter, picked up by Harbison. 3 to shoot down to Sasha Washington. That's no good, and a shot clock violation.
If you just look at Carter whenever she was going for that rebound, she didn't even have to jump. All the other players are jumping under her, and she just reaches over them and grabs the ball.
Again, listed at 6'5". And the athleticism is noticeable for her. It's not just that she stands on the block and plays like a post player. It's the fact that she can defend out toward the perimeter and still get back to alter the passing lanes. And as mentioned, run the floor and get down in position for a quick bucket if that works out. And one opportunity for Carter. She's got 16 points and at the free throw line for 17.
Again, you mentioned it. If they can get it to her quick, they're going to pass it to her quick inside. And now she gets the opportunity for a three-point play.
It's like having a 6'6" wide receiver. You just throw it up. So 17 points for Jessica Carter. Coming off 29 points a couple of nights ago against New Mexico. That went off the bottom of the bucket, so it tangled the twine just a little bit.
It's impressive, though, that she still put up 17 points whenever she's been on the bench for quite a bit of the game because of those 3 fouls that she has.
Harbison, the pull-up 2.
Great snag by Demi Washington.
Bella. It's good.
Not the prettiest shot, but Bella Chance got it done.
So 5 points here tonight for Bella Chance, her first three-pointer. And Jessica Carter answers just like that. She's got 19 points.
You can't even finish talking about the Vanderbilt basket because Mississippi State was moving so fast.
80 points per game for Mississippi State so far this season. Harbison. 0 for 5 from 3 for Kaija. Boy, everything but the finish for Anastasia Hayes. Down the floor for Yabrion Chambers. And knocks it off the ankle of Smith to keep the ball with Vanderbilt.
That was really good awareness by Chambers right there. She knew she was not going to be able to get in position for the basket to be able to finish. And so she looks to see that, you know what? Oh, she's right there. Let me just knock it off of her. Give us still the ball back.
Yabrion, reverse. Oh, no good.
Timmy Washington, again, great snag.
Boy, Bella goes tumbling toward Coach Brown. And a foul is called against Anastasia Hayes.
The foul is on 0. Anastasia Hayes. That is her third. Team first.
The glass and in for two for Johnson.
You can see in Vanderbilt's passes just the fatigue that's setting in.
Foul called against Yabrion Chambers. Couple of free throws coming up for Johnson in just a second. 66-41. Mississippi State with the advantage. Their passing has been wonderful here tonight.
Only for a couple seasons, but he was a pitcher at Vanderbilt. He had an arm, and he threw it coast to coast to Garrett Marvin under the basket. Ended up winning it. Only 0.6 seconds left on the clock. DCA ended up winning it. Garrett made the shot and ended up being a SportsCenter top 10 play.
What's your connection to that?
I was the cheerleader.
There it is. I think a timeout taken by Shea Ralph.
Middle school, do you know what I did? Other than cheer for SportsCenter top 10 plays.
I was going to go cheer, but yeah.
I was on the jump rope team. That was the halftime performance at Vanderbilt men's basketball games. How about that one?
Jump rope for Hart? Jump rope for Hart?
Yes.
Yeah, I did that too. really big thing back in the 90s. Well, congratulations to our producer, Dean, who came in Dean doesn't have a microphone, so this is fairly worthless. But in a jump roping contest, Dean, third place jump rope for Hart for our producer, Dean. Clearly, no one is giving me a trophy for anything athletic related, so. Jump rope or otherwise.
Hey, those teams would get pretty competitive.
Evidently.
Really good feed right there, under the basket, able to get the finish. Bringing it back to basketball.
Sure. Rebound for Mississippi State. And the foul called against Kaisha Harbison. 4 players here tonight for Mississippi State in double figures. Smith with 10, Johnson with 11, Carter with 19, and Poe with 10.
The Bulldogs will be in the bonus for the remainder of the game. Checking in number 21, Bella Martinez. Replacing Kaisha Harbison. 2 shots at the line for the Bulldogs.
First free throw no good for Hayes. Mentioned the statistic think back in the first half, but one of just 2 active players in women's college basketball to have 2,000 career points, 500 career rebounds, and 400 career assists for Anastasia Hayes. Her and Caitlin Clark from Iowa. If you follow women's college basketball, Caitlin Clark is considered one of, if not the best player in the game. So to share that statistic with Caitlin Clark is remarkable for Anastasia Hayes, the MTSU transfer. Yeah, Garad's just tired.
You could really see a lot of fatigue settling in. A lot of the Vanderbilt players, their passes.
When shots start to come up short, that tends to be a telltale sign that the legs aren't there. So the shots end up coming up a little bit short. Not always, but typically. Boy, look at that. Almost like a volleyball shot for Jessica Carter. Just caught it and shot it all in one motion. 21 points for Jessica Carter on 9 of 11 shooting. Up next for Mississippi State, they've got the rivalry matchup versus Ole Miss. That's in Starkville at Tennessee versus South Carolina. So pretty good 1-2-3 punch for head coach Sam Purcell of Mississippi State.
Giving my alma mater a hard time earlier talking about Tennessee not receiving votes. You had, of course, had to point that one out, being my alma mater, but I mean, it's a tough second game. You said it, 1-2-3 punch. Even though they're not receiving votes, I mean, you got in the non-conference schedule, they went up against number 2 Stanford,
number 7 Virginia Tech.
Ohio
I mean, if you want, you can talk about. If you want, you can talk about my alma mater losing to Minnesota in the Pinstripe Bowl today. Knock yourself out. At LSU, that is again exceedingly difficult for Vanderbilt coming up on Sunday. At Mississippi State again, Tennessee, Arkansas currently ranked. 3 of those 5 games are versus ranked teams as we sit now.
Both have extremely difficult schedules to start out SEC play.
Boy, what a block, Sasha Washington. Still very, very active. Took it off the fingertips and gets the block. At the moment, 15-3 run. Over the past 5 minutes, 45 seconds for Mississippi State. Vandy is 0 of its last 7 from the floor. If that's not a clear sign that the legs just are starting to fatigue for Vanderbilt. Fouled there. We'll put Albrion Chambers at the free throw line. 56 seconds to go, fourth quarter.
Take another look at this block by Sasha. She's still playing physical, getting set early, really putting herself in a position and giving great effort late in the game.
2 blocks for Sasha Washington here tonight as Albrion Chambers goes to the free throw line. Boy, good hustle by Sasha Washington with the save. Got the rebound, got the save. Now tries to post up against Cole. 5 seconds to shoot. Couple of blocks by Charlotte Cole.
You could see Shea Ralph was very happy with Washington's effort down low. She was not giving up. and it pays off right there. Take a look right here. Sasha Washington continuing effort late in the game. It doesn't matter the score. She's still putting forth that hustle, something that you know Coach Ralph is very happy with, even despite the score.
Missed the free throw, but still 11 points here tonight for Sasha Washington. So that's 3 consecutive games for Sasha with double-digit scoring. Lipscomb, Alabama A&M, and Mississippi State. All that's left for Sam Purcell. The inbound pass. That does it. Final score 72-44. And Sam Purcell, the first-year head coach for Mississippi State, gets his very first career SEC victory.